So buongiorno everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to knock things over and we are going to, actually you're going to make lunch with me because it's a beautiful sunny day. So we're actually having something very simple. We are going to have a little bit of linguine aglio olio, which is just with our oil and garlic. We're going to have a little bit of Italian sausage, and we're going to have what we are focusing on today, which is a bella insalata, a beautiful salad. But we're going to do salad as I'm turning my stove back on here. See? There we go. They don't do salad in Italy the same way we do it here. So they will take lettuce and tomatoes. They'll probably put more celery in it than we would, and even some other things. But usually it's not as many, it's not 20,000 things in the salad with a heavy dressing on top. You know, salads with heavy dressings on top are not as healthy as most people think. So you're gonna hear some sizzling because my sausage is on the pan. Got it on my grill pan because I like it best that way. So anyway, we are gonna focus on how they do salad Italian style. So I'm going to take this pretty head of lettuce here, just set it there because I've got a smaller one that I had already used some leaves on. So I'm just cutting my romaine lettuce that I've already washed. And then I usually cut it in slices, and then I usually give it one slice down the middle to get those big pieces. Okay, and now I have this really pretty bowl. Isn't this pretty? I love it, my Italian lemons. Okay, we're just gonna put our insalata in here. Now, in Italy, an interesting thing about tomatoes, you know, we're always looking here for the ripest red tomatoes that are still firm, but you can tell they're a little bit soft because they're nice and ripe. In Italy, if you go to the market and you want tomatoes for your salad versus tomatoes to cook with or tomatoes to make a, you know, with your fresh mozzarella or your bruschetta, your salad tomatoes are often the ones that are not ripe all the way. Now, you would think that they don't have as much flavor, but over there they do, but they're firm. Now this is the, of all my red tomatoes I have right now, this was my firmest one. So this is the one I'm using for the salad because they don't fall apart in the salad. They like the pieces to be whole. So a lot of time you'll have an orange, you know, not fully ripe tomato that's in your salad and you're looking at it, you know, well, I don't, but you know, my American friends, they look at it like, these are like not ripe tomatoes. I said, yeah, just try one. Over there, for some reason, I don't care, they're still green. They got so much flavor. But anyway, so we are going to cut up, and they don't cut them teeny tiny. They cut them in chunks. So I'm just gonna quarter these and then just cut them into, you know, a little bit bigger pieces. A lot of times in an American salad, you get these slices. They're hard to eat. These go right on the fork with everything else. Now, building a salad is not a big lesson. Okay, we're just putting this on. Look, already it's pretty. Let's check on the sausage, because it's over here cooking. That's not going in the salad. That's just part of our lunch. Time to turn it over. Look at the beautiful grill marks on this. Isn't that pretty? And just, why is it that pretty food just tastes better? I don't know what it is. It's great. Now, very common in a salad in Italy, you will see celery. You know, Americans have a funny relationship with celery. We love it. We know it goes cooked in, you know, your mirepoix, the famous trifecta of carrot, celery, and onions to flavor soups and stews and things like that. And we know, but we look at it so much as a diet food that a lot of times we shy away from it. Now, it's really, really good if you actually allow yourself to enjoy it. I'm going, you know, a lot of people don't like the strings in it. So, you know, a trick to that is just break off the end and just pull the strings down and you get a lot of that out, okay? It's either side. I'm just going to cut this in thin cross pieces. Now, in Italy, in a salad, you'll definitely almost always find celery. And when you start having it in there and have that one little bite on your fork with your lettuce and your tomato, it really does add a nice, refreshing flavor to it. Another thing you'll also often find in a salad in Italy is a little bit of cut the same way, is some fennel. I'm just gonna throw some of this on here. Let's stir a few more. Okay. Doesn't have to be a whole stalk, just enough to give it some flavor. Another thing that's really popular that you'll see in your salad is some of this, I'm flinging water all over, is some of the celery leaves. So you can just rip them off and throw them in the salad, you know, or you can cut them, it's up to you, but I kind of like doing it more, you know, bella nice, organically, you know, just ripping off the pieces, the little branches, and throwing them in my salad. And you can throw off some of these little stalks if you want. You know, just little chunks, it's a little bite here and there. And we've got this pretty tasty salad. Now, I don't know if they do this in the rest of Italy, so I'm going to throw this out there. But in my village, in Roseto, you go down to, I go see my friend Franco at the Locanda, and he will make me a salad, and he'll put some corn in it. And it's really nice. So I'll put a little handful of corn in just for fun. But mais. And it adds another little bite of sweetness to your salad. Now, the secret to salad isn't necessarily what you're putting in it, although, again, it is usually very simple. But what is important, turn that down now. What is important is how to dress it, and that's the most important part. So, I've read lots of places that people say, oh, put the oil on first, because otherwise the vinegar, what is it? Oh, if you put the vinegar on, the oil slips off. That's a bunch of baloney in my book. Okay, so this is the Dorina way. I don't know if it's officially the right way, but I have always found that people are like, why is your salad so good? And I'm like, it's just oil and vinegar. I put the vinegar on first. You see, vinegar is made to break things down. So it breaks the proteins in your meat when you marinate with vinegar, and it even breaks like the cellulose and the pieces of your salad. That's why if your salad sits for 2 hours, it's all wilted, because the vinegar has broken it down. It's not just because it's wet, because if you have some wet salad, like with water, it stays crisp. It's the vinegar that breaks it down. What's more slippery in your book, vinegar or oil? Yeah, oil. I always put my vinegar on first, toss it around, then I put my oil on. I believe that if you put the oil on first, the vinegar goes whee and it doesn't soak in. Now, maybe that's what keeps it fresher longer. I don't know, but I always put my vinegar on first. We always eat all our salad. We're salad people. I put my vinegar on first and then my oil. Now, that being said, real quick, I'm going to flip over. A lot of times when you're in Italy, you'll get a salad that is only extra virgin olive oil and some salt. And I'm telling you, you're like, huh? And when you taste it, it is so good. The flavors of the vegetables just really pop. It's just a whole different, without the acid, it's a different flavor profile, and it's really good. But I will say that I do love my vinegar. The other option is that you could throw in a squeeze of lemon in place of your vinegar, and that's also really good and very Italian tasting. A lot of times they'll give you a wedge of lemon on the side of your salad to throw on extra. So it's, you know, a lot of here's or there's, but it is always just oil and vinegar. Now, your measurements are usually 3/4 vinegar to 1/4 oil, unless you're using balsamic. Balsamic, which in salads over there, you don't find that often, at least not in the South. I think it's more in the North. Over here, everybody loves balsamic. Why do we love balsamic? Because it's sweeter. And we are all into sweet. Now, there's balsamic glazes, but that's more for other things, not necessarily your salad, because that just sticks to where you dropped it. Now, the other thing I'm going to share with you, which is not very Italian, is how to make a thick vinaigrette, per se, a thick balsamic glaze, but I'm going to come right back to that. We're going to dress this, but I am going to show you how to make another dressing. So this is, whoops, I forgot I didn't have a top on this. Just want a little bit of vinegar. I should just put my thumb over it, and this is the way you do it. There you go. The very best way to make a salad is with your hands. So we're going to do a little bit of olive oil, which was definitely more than the vinegar I put on. And then the other important ingredients are pepper, black pepper, and salt. And you're not going to be overboard with the salt, but you're going to be generous. But the best way to do this is with your hands, because that's how you get all of your dressing all over everything. Oh yeah. And then you can make it look pretty by making sure some of your veggies are on top, because a spoon doesn't always do that. Let's taste a piece. Perfect. Okay. That's part of my today's lunch. But I am going to show you something. For those of you who really are trying to be, you want to do things more Italian, you want to do things more healthy, and this is the way to do it, but you're so accustomed to a creamy dressing, which is not that healthy. But I'm going to show you how to make the healthy version. Here's the scoop. We all know, let's put this together. We all know that if we mix oil and vinegar, we shake it and stir it up, what happens? Write the answer. What happens to the oil and vinegar when you stir it up after a few minutes? Okay, so we've got our olive oil. Now this one, I'm gonna make a balsamic vinaigrette. So here's my nice aceto balsamico. So we're gonna put about, one part vinegar to 3 parts olive oil. So basically, if you're looking at this as a whole, 1/4 vinegar and 3/4, you put a smidge less when it's balsamic because it's sweet. Now, if I was to blend this up, what's going to happen after a little bit? Yep, you're right. It's going to separate back into oil and vinegar. Vinegar on the bottom, oil on the top. But how many of you have read, hold on, get me some garlic here. How many of you have read the label of a salad dressing thing? It always has some ingredient and it says an emulsifier. What the heck's an emulsifier? It's something that makes stuff like oil and vinegar stick together. Well, guess what is a natural emulsifier? Hold on, there we go. It's not liking me calling it names. Okay, garlic is a natural emulsifier. So watch what happens. And of course, who doesn't love garlic in their salad dressing? We're gonna throw in, two cloves of garlic is usually enough. It depends. Now, I will tell you this. Make sure you're getting good garlic, because the Chinese garlic doesn't do this. Just saying. So those ones in the sleeves, make sure that you read the label and see where it was grown. Okay, so now we are going to blend up this. And I can tell by the color that I probably put a little too much vinegar, or a little bit more extra virgin olive oil. Okay, I want to show you how thick this is. And guess what? It's going to stay. Look at it. It's like a creamy. All right, let me taste it. Yum. Now, it definitely probably could use a smidge more oil. It's very vinegary. There we go. Balsamic, with its sweetness, really has a strong flavor. That's better. And the color you can see. So, look at this. I mean, this is just beautiful. And this makes a real, I'm going to show you how it coats. See how it coats the lettuce? So you're going to get your creamy dressing. Now in there you can add a pinch of salt and pepper, which I'll do, and then remix it. But that's all you need, and that will stay thick on your dressing, and then it coats it in a different way. That kind of dressing. Now, in Italy they don't make pasta salad. They do not eat cold pasta. But in America, with 4th of July parties and summer parties, it's the American way to make a pasta salad. It's one of those things. I will tell you that if you're going to make a pasta salad, make it as Italian as you can, and you put this creamy balsamic vinaigrette that's on there. So good. So anyway, so with that being done, let's move this over here so I don't trip on it. Move this here so I don't spill it. So here we now have a beautiful Insalata Verde green salad with a little bit of red and yellow in there. Made Italian style with just oil and vinegar, Dorina style, vinegar first, oil second, or just olive oil and a pinch of salt. But keep it simple. And you know, it's funny how sometimes when we're in a restaurant and they say, well, what dressing do you want? And my husband would always gets oil and vinegar. But sometimes people around us are like, oil and vinegar, that's so boring. But when you have a salad that's dressed right, and unfortunately, putting the oil and vinegar on a salad at the restaurant never comes out quite the same because you haven't mixed it in and let it really get on all the leaves and stuff. But this is the best salad. This is what reminds us, at least those of us who are of Italian descent, this is home. This is the kind of salad your nonna would make because they didn't buy blue cheese dressing or Thousand Island dressing or all these other creamy crap. You know what? Save those for a party when you want to have some veggies and dip or something, American style. But when you're making a nice salad after a nice Italian meal, or you want to have a nice light lunch, have a little bit of just simple pasta with oil and garlic and a little bit of one piece of meat, you know, and a nice big salad, that's a nice. So anyway, so on that note, I hope that you all enjoy this. Bring this salad to your table. Bring your family to the table. You know, remember that in Italy, salad is usually last. It helps pushes everything through and helps you digest. They don't eat salad as an appetizer. Antipasto never has a salad. It's always the other stuff, the other good things that really whet your appetite and get you hungry. This would fill you up. At the end, you finish filling up with this. But you don't fill up before with this big, loose stuff that fills your belly, and then you're not ready to have your good stuff, your pasta and your meats, you know, whatever. So have a nice simple salad at the end of your meal. Another way to keep the family at the table. So enjoy, buon appetito. I'll see you back at the table. Ciao.